Hello. Well, this is the first time I've ever done a vocal podcast, so pretty much first one, kind of want to do it alone, kind of work out the kinks and also discover where my pauses, and thought process pretty much stops and kicks in, and pretty much makes this more into some kind of video confession that some correctional or police department would probably use. So pretty much first one, I really don't want these podcasts to be extremely long or marathons. If the conversation and interest of the topic at hand is very interesting, we go full broke then. So podcast for today, first one for the Nous 3 Degrees group. Something I started. A lot of people ask me why Nous. What does that mean? Well, it's a Latin term for philosophy, and the 3 degrees, I go with the 3 degrees of consciousness, But in reality, I go more with the rule of 3, how it's morning, day, and night, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity, 3. So pretty much the holy 3 rules of life, that everything comes from the Mother, the Father, the Son, takes 3 to be a family, legs, head, body, and pretty much a whole value of 3 in general. So, everything revolves around 3 in the circles of life, the circle, life, not to quote Lion King or anything. So, that's pretty much where I came up with the name and thought that, it would be great. Didn't really know what to start. I was kind of going through series of writer's block and also some personal things as well too, that I was letting it get to me. And in short, one day I was just sitting down in front of my computer to see what am I trying to look for, until one day I was at Second and Charles and I saw a book called The Wanderer, and I was going through it and everything, and it was saying about how we become wanderers, that we're looking for things in life. So, but at the same time, I believe the book is more meant for a younger generation, but in this case, sometimes we end up taking on the same persona as we get older, where we're actually still looking for what this world can provide for us. But in reality, I guess at my level, my consciousness and my experience, my wisdom, and on this time on earth, I've come to the fact that I'm not looking for what this world has to offer to me. I need to start looking what I can, or I'm supposed to offer to this world, with my consciousness, with my experience, with my drive, with my intellect, with my productivity, my creativity that, creates me, that gives me my stance in life and everything. So, and I was searching some words and came up with Nous, and also with the 3 degrees concept as well too. So I decided to put them together, and voila. And then I made some logos, and I didn't even hesitate. I must have made those designs in probably less than 15 minutes, and I just had fun with it, and it just seemed something great, something positive. So, I don't want it to be some kind of okay, we're just going to be posting good thoughts and everything, but I don't want it just to be the good. I want it to be in the bad, in a sense where, we go through hard times. We go through trials and tribulations of self-worth, of self-doubt, and also of external entities or situations that try to bring us down. And I remember, and I always quote to friends that, people want you to do good, but don't like when you do better than them. And I felt that really hits more than anything, because at the same time, when you're at your lowest, nobody's there for you. But when you're at your highest and everything, and all of a sudden, you're doing great and everything, all of a sudden everybody starts inviting you to the parties or birthdays, and oh yeah, now they want you there, so, and it's like, man, where were you when I needed you? And it's always true what they say. You always know who your true friends and family, the ones who really care, are when you're in jail, you're in the battlefield, you're in the hospital, you need help to move from one house to another. It's overwhelming. I remember one time, I was in the hospital one time, and nobody, I had posted it, I was in the hospital, I'm doing okay and everything. And like everybody just like went, hey, hope you get better and everything, like, we're here for you. And it was weird because like, I couldn't, nobody had shown up, and I was in a positive mindset that I am. I always just stop and say, maybe it could have been, maybe they're working, anything. Let's not think negative. So then a couple of days later, like, I had, because of my illness, I had to miss a friend's birthday party, and the very next day, man, she made it a big issue and everything. I had told her was kind of recovering. I was in the hospital 2 days prior. I mean, I don't know if you knew that, and it was weird because it's like every time, I would go, I would bump into her at the bar, what have you. It was like, well, in light of my birthday, it was just like, not obligated here to get you anything. So, and it was weird because on my birthday, they had planned it out and everything. There was some setbacks and everything, and we kind of took a little longer than expected. And when I was taken there, all of a sudden, like, that certain friend, just got up, said, excuse me, and just walked out and left. I was like, and it was weird because, like, you get some people that just take things way too personal and way too, too literal in a sense. But but I'm glad we have moments like that because we can go back and we can say, hey, how could we have dealt with it? What could we have said? How could we deal with, people who are conflicted more with themselves than they are with us? So, and it's weird because usually when I come to know that when it comes to the alcohol, it's a liquid courage in so many sense where, the animosity that kicks in with like, oh yeah, it's just like, but in this case, this person didn't really, let's just say they didn't really make enough income and everything, but yet, sometimes they see others that, hey, you know what, I'm like the type of person, hey, you know what, if they're struggling and everything, hey, the beer's on me, don't worry about it, so it's a nice gesture. But you get some people that, take advantage of it, and they keep on going, they keep on asking and everything. So it's like, oh, okay, what? So, but I learned a good lesson during those times, saying that, thinking that as a giver, you need to have limits because takers don't have any whatsoever. I mean, there is a good friend, like who, hey, you know what, thank you very much. I don't have much, but here, I can help you out, and it's very rare when you find someone like that. So it's a sense of gratitude more than anything. Like, it's just like you get invited to a party and everything. So, the least you can do is stop by and pick a 6-pack of Coke, or at least ask, hey, do y'all need anything? Well, we need kind of chips and sauce. Okay, you know what? Let me go take some. So that way you can provide for it, So I remember one party I had through a long time ago. A friend showed up with about 10 people that I didn't even know. So, and next thing you know, they drank all the beer and everything. And like, this was like around 11, and then at 2 o'clock when, of course, you got those friends that go to the bars, and then, oh yeah, there's an after party, come with us, and they showed up with more people, and guess what, I was out of beer, and then next thing you know, within like 10 minutes, everybody had left. I was like, the only ones who stayed were just the ones who had helped me prepared, and also helped me picked up as well too. So it's like, ever since then, I just never really threw any parties like that again. And sometimes we make mistakes like that, especially not only with like parties that we do, but also like with birthday parties as well too. Like sometimes people can get so selfish and get so maniacal where they like, okay, what are you going to do for me? I was like, wow. So like, that's the way it works. So, well, in their cases, so I guess some people have a different law or rule when it comes to expectations and application as well too. So, but I see these more as social barriers, social constructs that people that they put on others, but in reality, they put them themselves as well too. And trust me, I've met a lot of people who put these rules and don't follow them at all as well too. So, but I just tell people, like, in life, nothing's personal. Don't make it personal. People who act this way, they just never really had enough experience or training or anything. So, and the people who do know what they're doing and take advantage, those are the people you really need to get away from. So, I like to call them emotional vampires, and they know how to play the game, and and you get some which I like to call snake charmers, where they paint, oh yeah, ego, oh yes, you need to be conscious, and you need to have this sort of view of yourself, and you need to admit your flaws and everything, and yet it doesn't apply to them. they preach it to everybody, but not themselves. Hence the word snake charmers. So pretty much they're just doing it just to, and just for the sake of entertainment, or just to appear that they have this almighty knowledge and I guess like a spiritual enlightenment, but in reality, they're just hence the word, emotional vampires, where you just suck the emotions out of you. And sometimes some of them do it just to get free things, or just to get the notion of them feeling, oh yes, and it's weird because then when it comes, oh, okay, where do you work? Oh, I'm not working. What do you mean you're not working? Like, oh yes, oh, I'm doing this on the side and everything. So it's like, okay, odd jobs. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it and everything. So it's like, hey, but regardless, it is that, usually I tell people, like, if something feels odd, it's because it is. And listen to your parents sometimes, Yes, I know sometimes parents can be the most negative, people in the world, but sometimes we need that negativity, because sometimes we get so lost in the surprise, the excitement, that we don't really look at the reality of scope of the things we're about to get into. I mean, it's like us, like if we were to go back to elementary or high school, with our little brothers, cousins, or nephews, or your nieces, and hey, watch out for that one, man. That one, oh, that one's a liar. Trust me. Oh, that one's a backstabber. We see them, and it's almost like the same thing with our parents. But it's just, I guess, when you're a parent, you just feel like that spotlight's on your kid all the time, and you have to be that there's, that figure that tells them what's right and wrong. But sometimes we need to stand by and be conscious, because I think as parents, speaking as a father myself, I mean, sometimes we can come up, we throw in more of the wrong things than the right, where we make our children feel that they can't do anything right. And it's weird because, like, I see, if our parents did that to us, then we need to break that cycle. We need to break that chain, that's cycle that just keeps on going. We have to break it, hence the album Stain, very good album. And we have to really be more best friends than authority figures. I mean, I don't like an old saying I like to say, I don't think we should be authoritative figures. We should be authoritarian figures. We should be more guidance counselors. We should be loving. We should be nurturing. It's like my daughter, she likes that rapper X. I can't really pronounce his name, Extension. I don't know if that's the way you say it. And she told me she liked this song Carry On, and I was hearing it, and you know what? I mean, it was a song that the rapper wrote to his ex about his ex when he was in prison. And, just listen to it. I mean, the first thing I want to do, I just like, what's wrong with you? You're not depressed, you're not everything. But then I stop and wait a minute. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is almost the same time when you're into Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar album, You liked it because of this. You liked it because you didn't have to follow the norm. You didn't have to be like everybody else, It gave you a mind, You should listen to it. So I listened to the lyrics and everything, and I have to admit, it was actually a pretty good song. I like it. I actually have it in my playlist on Spotify whenever I'm working out. And I think it's just a beautiful song. So simple, it's just genius. And it was just Carry On. And it gave me a sense of what my daughter's going through right now, that she had broke up with her boyfriend, It just, I know to us it's just puppy love. When we say, oh, it's nothing, oh, pass by. But to them, they don't see like us, where we can go back and play as Monday morning quarterbacks, This is something to them. This is a feeling that, they need guidance on. And you know what? That's what I decided to become. And when I called my daughter and I had talked to her, and I explained that this is something beautiful, and I thought this was a beautiful song, and I know what you're going through, sweetie. So, and I have to admit, I mean, ever since that night, I just had, these past couple of weeks, I've just had the most brilliant and amazing conversation / relationship with my daughter that I've had in a very long time. And it just seems that, it's just me. I just stop everything. I stop everything to go and listen to her. And I tell her, no, what you say is I don't care if it's stupid or it's that, what you say is very important to me. I don't know. I was seeing a picture of the prince, and the princess from England, and I forget their names. And it was beautiful because, like, when they speak to their children, they don't just, they don't just talk to them looking down at them. They actually kneel down, look at them eye level, and stop everything and make them feel that what they say is important, that everything of their upbringing is beautiful and it's important to them in so many ways. And I think that's a great example how we should be as parents, as nurturers, as guidance counselors, as motivational speakers, as titans of our community, because we have all come from different backgrounds, and we have come from a lineage of slaves, a lineage of conquered people, as migrant workers, and ancestors that risked their lives for us to get here. And now that we're here, we just stop. There's no finish line in life. There's no finish line. We finished high school. Okay, that's great. What's next? Okay, we went to college. That's great. What's next? Okay, we got married. Okay, that's great. What's next? We got a house. Okay, that's great. What's next? All right. Making $50,000 a year. Like, okay, that's great. What's next? There's no finish line in life. I think people get obsessed and addictive to these invisible finish lines that it never stops. Even my grandma, like 2 weeks before her death, she was 89 years old, and she said, no matter what, you never stop learning. You never stop learning. You have to keep on bettering, evolving and everything. And even though that my parents, even though they're in their 60s, they didn't stop to learn how to use a cell phone, how to stop learning how to use the DVD or the TV and everything. And they're from a generation that went from analog, so, and this is a good example that we can change. We can learn. Those ones saying that, I can't, it's because I'm old. No, it's because you can't change, because you don't want to change. You still want to hold up to some old fashioned relic of life that you have to feel, you don't know where you're coming from. I'm from, no. We know where you come from, but sharing that influence, sharing that experiences, and I think sometimes the older generation kind of get jealous, or they get envious of the youth and everything, of how things were easier for this generation. It was a little harder for us, but you know what? Every generation is going to be feeling and seeing that and everything, and something's going to be better, something's going to be worse, something's always going to be statistically better than what they had it before. But I think that we should, as an older generation, middle or young, that we should really embrace ourselves, that the younger generation swallow their pride. Hey, you know what? We have a lot to learn. And the older generation needs to swallow their pride. And hey, there's also new stuff we can learn as well, too, from this new generation. I think once those two generations get together and finally swallow their pride, we would see a real big outcoming. Hopefully, I still have faith. I still have hope in my people, my faith, my generation, society, and the human world. So, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll wake up and everybody decides that, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. So, well, it's 18 minutes in, guys, so I'm going to make this short. I just wanted it to be a 8 or 10 minute, short little podcast that I just wanted to do. So hopefully next time I can start doing these podcasts with more people, all of you. Now, I don't want everybody to think, because you need to run something, you need to do something, I'm going to enlighten you, I'm going to post about you. No. Even if you're learning, even though you're a practitioner, the point is move it along. What do you learn? What are your ambitions and everything, and us as a group, that we can jump in and give advice as we see the different perspectives from the weekly discussions that we have, from rest in peace, is it meant for the living or the dead? Or when someone is angry, are they angry at you or are they angry at themselves? We see how some people take it as now we have that stance of leader, and others still have a stance of practitioner student, because they still haven't felt that need or feel that they're of age to be a teacher, an instructor, a nurturer, a mentor, a guidance counselor. So we see that there's still much to learn, and sometimes we have mastered an art and we go 10 years and completely forgot about it. Sometimes we need reminders or refreshing. So our lives is just a constant evolutionary progress that never stops. And the day in life, I don't believe there are losers. I believe you either win or learn. If you win, that's great. If you lose, learn from it. But once you quit and you just drop everything, that's where you become a loser. So that's my philosophy, outtake on that. So, but either way, so thank you guys for listening. Hopefully I'll be doing these once a week or once every other week, so as time permits with my schedule and all. So But if anybody have any questions or discussions, feel free to post and everything. I mean, be more welcome to answer questions, or if you guys want to be a part of this vocal podcast that I'm going to start doing within the next couple of months and everything, I'll be more happy. We'll get with me, we'll set up, we'll do schedule and everything, and we'll take off as it is. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye.